you're gonna die.
Soulseer Mizutsune is awesome. Hello, my fellow riders, and welcome to the Stories 2 third title update, bringing us Soulseer, Elderfrost, and Arashi Kirin. We'll go through all three for you, but up first is, well, Soulseer Mizutsune, the blind seer of flaming bubbles, who is actually ridiculously painful. Oh my god! Before we get ahead of ourselves, what's the deal? Well, the deal is very similar to what the deal was last time. Thunder eggs, fire eggs, move aside, for we have water eggs and ice eggs. Water eggs, of course, is what we're after for Soulseer, who, by the way, is head and shoulders our new best water monstie. Not that there was much competition. So, head to the quest board and pop yourself in a water eggs quest, and use yourself a rare or super rare ticket. You can get Soulseer and Deviant eggs in general, at least the new Fated 4 ones, from the rare dens, but it is much more common from super rare, so that's what I would recommend if you've got the bottle caps. And then head on through it, avoiding and deadly jabbing everything, as you would usually do with any other den. And as always, you can just start it by yourself and get an AI companion if you can't be bothered waiting for a actual human to assist you. So you might be thinking, water egg den then? Well, in the Thunder and Fire, you can only get Thunder and Fire monsters, and water-wise, that's like, what, Mizutsune and Ludroth? Well, they have padded it out a little bit. It is a Ponmore-themed den, and you can get Ponmore monsters, like, well, Pink Rathian, the most watery of water eggs, and stuff like Legeucrus, that, while, yes, is thunder, is obviously a water-based creature, so that makes sense. Anyway, to the end, where you will face a Soulseer Mizutsune, who is actually quite difficult. Like, there is a lot of tricks up this Bubble Fox's sleeve. Firstly, it's lovely to see the white fur going on. It's lovely to see the slight colouring changes, the elongated front claws that look very gnarly, and of course the blind eyes. For those of you that don't know, Soulseer is a deviant that was blinded in a confrontation and now actually interacts with the world via the bubbles. It's like bubble location, and they are now flaming bubbles, and in fact it can apply those bubbles to its claws, to its tail, in order to make them even sharper, at least in the claws case, for more damage, and basically it's just a really cool, badass and creative deviant. And in the fight, it even has a counterattack mode when it does do the bubble application to its claws, and it really, really hurts. Even just wait and see, just so you can attack it and take the pain. Now, it does start out as speed instead of technical, so don't get caught out by that, and will go to power when it is angry. And at the end of its angriness, well, you get hit by a big fiery boom, but at the same time it will also increase its fire attack too before that, which is really cool to see from, you know, what is inherently a water monster, so watch out for it. A lot of damage can come out of nowhere from Soulseer, who, by the way, as you might have guessed by him starting with speed, is speed instead of normal Mizutsune's technical, so that is something to consider when you're considering him as a monstie. But eventually you will slay him and acquire his baby that looks much just like a darker purple version of normal Mizutsune Egg, and he's also, again, just adorable.
Bubbles! They go pop, explosive on top!
So let's talk genes then. That's the big question, isn't it? How much will this actually change? Well, firstly, as a Monstie, as I said, this one is cut and dry. There's nothing really to compare it to, like with Bolt Reaver and Hellblade having lots of other good thunder and fire options. Water was very lacking in Stories 2, and even with Soulseer still is lacking, but fundamentally, if you want a water Monstie, use Soulseer. He is just purely and simply the best, and there's no real argument about that, unless for whatever reason you desperately need your water Monstie to be technical, in which case use normal Mizutsune. The genes then! The genes! Well, it's an interesting selection, I will tell you that much, which probably doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence. We have Spiral Claw, a non-elemental speed attack. I mean, it's heavy damage, it's only a 19 cost, it's a nice basic gene to have in the game for your non-element speed monsters, but they didn't really exactly need any more support here. It's really weird. Like, it should at least be water damage. I know it's not specifically water themed, it's just hitting with his big old claws, but, like, it's just random basic heavy damage with nothing quirky going on. I don't know, I can't help but be a little bit disappointed. This isn't going to really change anything. No one's going to be running out to make a build based on this. It's just kind of there, I suppose. Let's see if it gets any better. One thing we were all hoping for was a potent Waterclad gene to match Valiant Flare and Azure Voltage. Well, we have the Foxflame gene, which gives Groom. Yes, Groom. Moderately increases the user's water attack, but moderately lowers thunder defense. Yeah. I mean, it's really cheap at 10. That's nice. You can put it on turn 1 always. And look, if you're using a water Monstie, you'll be using Groom because the attack boost is still really nice. It is nowhere near, you know, the 70% power-up hit from the fire and thunder, but the general increase to water damage is really solid. And for the 5 turns, you will be hitting really hard. It's just not as good as we were maybe hoping. Though I do like the cheap cost, it will be easy to maintain, and it is nice to have what will amount to, I guess, generally speaking, more damage over the 5 turns than the Valiant Flare and the Azure Voltage, but way less damage than that next turn after using them, where you essentially one-shot everything. Finally then, we have another interesting choice. Soulseer doesn't come with any offensive water moves. We have Foxflame Trap, which is kind of cool, you know, works with the explosive bubbles, and they are obviously fiery, so it is nice to see a fire gene here, but a trap gene is not what I expected. This works just like Kezu's Thunder Trap, and after your 2 turns, it will do its thing, in this case having a good chance to inflict burn, as opposed to Kezu's Paralysis, and it's nice to be there. You know, you can line up with it and really stack some damage, and again, it's really cheap. Setting this up at the start of a fight, I can actually see some use for this, and it is actually quite an interesting gene. I almost kind of want to try this on my Bracky, but we'll have to see. So yeah, an interesting selection, wouldn't you say? Definitely a few quirky ones, a few kind of random ones, but at least 2 of them are very workable and definitely have me intrigued as to a few builds. So, that all said then, how's the weapons and armor? Well, this one, again, is pretty cut and dry. Or I guess, not dry, because they're water weapons. Hey! Haha. If you want a water weapon, well, Mizutsune is now the de facto best water weapons for those that have them. It really is as simple as that. The Hunting Horn song set is the healing one, so that's nice too. And then the armor is actually phenomenal. I mean, it looks incredible as a first thing, but the skills on it are wonderful. Dancer is great, plus 20% attack and defense, and a speed while at full health. This is very good in PvP, and honestly still very good in PvE, because your hunter tends to be at full health, because you don't just sit there waiting to be killed by the enemy monster. Self-heal is, well, self-explanatory, always good, always useful, and Seal Breaker, while not as good in PvE, in PvP, is great too, so you can't get locked out of being able to pet, and it does counter, well, icicle spam, which happens pretty much constantly all the time, so that's really nice. This is a very, very good set of armor to have. So, there you have it, everybody. That is the brand new update and the first new Monstie within it, Soulseer Mizutsune. I will leave you with the full kinship attack, but until we meet again, please consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. A goodbye.
Cotton and hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.